Greetings. Today there is a new moon in Capricorn and it's at 28 degrees Capricorn. So later Capricorn, and really a lot of planets involved in this new moon. There is a lot going on. I am going to do my best today to kind of break it down and look at where we're at, what we're asked to step up to, and what it means for our evolutionary journey and how to think about self-care as things unfold in the world and making sense of it all, or at least doing our best. I'm Marina Orms here with your Astro Vibe and Astro Perspective for Sunday, January 18th, 2026. So we have a Capricorn new moon today. We are ending the Sagittarius moon cycle that began with the Sagittarius new moon, themes of meaning and storytelling and gaining a bigger picture understanding of how dots are connected, what is unfolding, what it means, and how that deeper understanding can shape our beliefs and how we have that perspective going forward. So maybe needing to update or align our beliefs with more information that's coming in, and see what it means and how we're going to think about it. So we're also beginning, of course, the Capricorn moon cycle. And with this is a beginning of a moon cycle, but there is a lot of energy of completion with this new moon. So, multiple ways we can look at that. First of all, we have the new moon, which is the sun and moon both coming together at 28 degrees Capricorn. So, later in the Capricorn journey, right? Each sign has 30 degrees. So this is towards the end of Capricorn, and that means it's the more mature version of Capricorn. It says we're talking about Capricorn energy that has been around the block a few times, and so we know things, right? There's really Capricorn energy really brings that deeper sense of knowledge and wisdom that has a kind of maturity to it. And so that elder perspective of, yeah, I've been there, done that, seen this before, that we've seen this whole story, song and dance before. So it has that vibe to it. There's a more mature perspective. There's also an ability to deepen into our own sense of self trust. And this is one of the themes I love about Capricorn energy is, right? We talk about all different things about Capricorn. That's structures, systems, getting organized, foundations, the skeleton in our body, and how we build strength, and what holds us up, and what supports us, and all of those things. And at the same time, that Capricorn energy is about finding your backbone, right? So deepening into who you are, building resilience, building the place that helps you trust yourself. So deepening into and building and strengthening resilience, but also self-trust and the ability to trust your own wisdom, your own knowledge, your own experience, right? The part of you that says, I can see through this, right? I can see what's going on here. And to trust that, to trust what you're seeing and interpret it through the lens of your own experience and what you know to be true. So trusting yourself, trusting, some of those quotes from Orwell have been circulating a little bit, trusting what your eyes and ears are telling you, right? So it's not just your eyes and ears, it's also your knowledge, your experience, the things that you have learned in your lifetime. So this Capricorn maturity is really emphasized with this new moon. And maturity because Capricorn is about responsibility and all of those things, that have to do with being responsible, but also the ways that we build that strength for ourselves. So responsibility, maturity, and what we're building, and thinking about how we are investing. So investing our resources, right? And time is a resource, energy is a resource, the energy to help others is a resource, right? How are we investing what we have, and not just the obvious, superficial, tangible things that we might have to invest, but thinking deeper, what can you invest that is a resource you have? And maybe it's the ability to be supportive of someone else. Maybe it's, maybe your intangible resource is your ability to smile, your ability to laugh or uplift others. It's just thinking creatively and outside the box in terms of what resources you have and how you are investing those. And now that's just one piece of this new moon. So 28 degrees Capricorn. Now the sun and moon are at 28 degrees, but they are in a conjunction with multiple planets, which in astrology we call a stellium. So the multiple planets involved are Mars and Mercury, both in a conjunction at 26 degrees Capricorn, so 2 degrees away from the sun and moon. And their exact conjunction is really very, very close to the new moon, the exact new moon. So we also have Venus at 1 degree? Um, yes, Aquarius, and Pluto at 3 degrees Aquarius. So now Venus and Pluto, power of the feminine, Venus, right? Power of love, power of kindness and reciprocity and justice, and all of the things that Venus is about. So the power of getting along, the power of creating peace and investing in the kind of balance and peace we want to see in our lives and in the world around us. So that's 6 planets. And we also have 3 more planets involved in the configuration of this new moon. And that is Saturn at 27 degrees Pisces, Neptune at 29 degrees Pisces, just a few days from going into Aries, and Uranus at 27 degrees Taurus. So if you're listening to these numbers, you'll hear a theme here. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 planets between 26 and 29 degrees of zodiac signs. So as I said, those are all late. They're late in those signs, right? They're out of 30 degrees. We're really at the end there. So all of these energies have a kind of maturity to them, a like feeling of, okay, we've been doing this for a while. This is not feeling new, right? We're dealing with some of these themes still, after. And one of the gifts, by the way, of something that repeats, something that you have a long time, shall we say, to move through, as we do. When outer planets move through things, they give us long opportunities to work through those energies and what they bring up in our lives. So one of the gifts of that is we have this chance to try and try and try again, because each time we try and each time we show up and we engage with those energies and we say, I am having this intention to move through what's hard about this to get to the part that feels good. And that's basically the definition of healing in my book anyway. Is, well, healing, that's another story. Healing means wholeness, so we're moving toward wholeness, but a very tangible way to think about it is that we are moving from what challenges us to get through that, to get to the part where we feel good and happy and feel like, feel good about ourselves, that we move through the hard stuff. So that's what healing is all about. And so we have opportunities to do that, right? And the more chances we get, the more chances we have, more maturity, more experience, more learning under our belt to work with these energies. So we can say, okay, I did it this way in the past. This is what happened when I tried that. Let me try it a different way. Right. And so we're learning, we are growing, we are updating and upgrading our responses, our approaches, our ways of being. We're hopefully engaged in caring for ourselves more effectively so that we can do the things we want to do, and have the energy and the resources and all of those things. So we have this real dynamic with this new moon that is of this kind of saying, here you go, try again. Yes, I know you've been doing this, and yes, it's still hard, and maybe there's more to learn still, but also a lot that you didn't know when you maybe started out with what's happening in the world, but also what's showing up in your personal life. So there's this energy of not just completion, but actually like furthering something, right? Moving something to a new place based on having an opportunity to work through energies that you've seen before. And now you get to do it differently, find your strength, find your resilience, find your courage to speak up, stand up, create something new, do something differently. And I'm not just talking about activism, although that certainly fits in this theme, but also, whatever you want to do to create something in your life, to have a positive impact, to move something important to you forward, to feel that sense of success and accomplishment. So this is another opportunity. And this new moon says, yes, you've been here before, but what are you going to do about it now? Because this moment is a different moment than any other moment. And this new moon is a different moment than any other moment in history, or right. So every moment is different. Anyway, here we are with this new moon. So not only do we have all of these planets in later degrees of signs, except Venus and Pluto, early degrees of Aquarius. So again, looking at power and empowerment related to themes of peace, justice, feminine power, and probably like a whole another novel we could write about that, but but we have to keep to our timeline here. So the only planet that's not in either later degrees or very early degrees is Jupiter, kind of in the middle of Cancer there at 18 degrees. And Jupiter is not in an alignment per se, everything's in alignment somewhere in its phases, but what we do have that Jupiter is not involved in is this double sextile. So I've talked about this double sextile. I'm not going to stop talking about it. It is a powerful energy. It is a creative energy. It is an energy that opens up possibility, potential, new perspectives, innovation, creative ways forward. And it is very supportive energy. It is very helpful if we take advantage of it. So, somebody puts money in your bank account, that's great. But if you don't know it's there and you don't, use it for anything, it doesn't benefit you, right? I mean, it's only a potential. It is only a potential. So as soon as you go, oh, here's this money, I could do this thing with it. I'm going to choose what I want to do with this, money or whatever possibility, potential, new idea. And I'm going to take that and I'm going to invest it in something that matters to me. And that is where the possibility turns into the power, because now you're leveraging that. You're leveraging that resource to move something forward, to have something that helps you move something in the direction that you want. So that, that's a whole story right there, right? But when we have money that we spend frivolously and just on superficial stuff, I mean, sometimes that's fun and whatever, but also when we think about investing in things that matter to us on that deeper level, like maybe not the most shiny new thing just to have it, but maybe spending it on something that really helps benefit you, right? That makes your day-to-day life better, that uplifts you, that helps you do something you want to do. So thinking about this double sextile, which is like that. It's like a resource. It's the energy of support. It says if you choose to invest in the positive things you want, that will be magnified. So manifestation is magnified. The choices you make are magnified. And so be careful, right? Be clear about what you want and do it on purpose and be conscious. So that double sextile energy is with us during this new moon, with Sun and Moon at 28 degrees Capricorn, Mercury and Mars at 26 degrees Capricorn, Saturn at 27 degrees Pisces, Neptune at 29 degrees Pisces. That's a sextile right there, involving 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 planets, and also Pluto and Venus. Although they're not in Capricorn, but they're still in a sextile. I mean, they're close enough to be conjunct the Sun and Moon, and in a sextile to Saturn and especially Neptune. And then we have also Uranus at 27 degrees Taurus in a sextile to Saturn and Neptune, and in a trine to the 6 planets, Mars, Mercury, Sun, Moon, Venus, and Pluto, all together in a trine to Uranus. So what is Uranus? Uranus is the energy of change. It's the energy of unexpected developments, shifts in consciousness, new information surfacing, something happening out of the blue. It's sudden change. It can be hard to make sense of it because it's a lot of energy happening all at once, just like if you have something, an earthquake, a lightning bolt, something that happens very suddenly and creates change very quickly. You can't process it all at once, right? It takes time over time to process that sudden change. So Uranus also, so it can be disruptive. It can introduce things that we don't want, shall we say, traumatic experiences, but it can also introduce possibilities through that lightning bolt of insight, through that stroke of genius, right? That stroke of luck or that stroke of insight. So it's sudden, and good things can come suddenly, just the same way hard things can come suddenly. So we have that energy of shift and change. And again, the more we are focusing our positive intentions, the more we can see those possibilities, because what we're focusing on is going to be magnified. Okay. And also coming back to self-trust, right? Self-trust, knowing your inner compass, basing your response and your decisions and your choices and your actions on your own experiences and the knowledge and learning you have acquired from your experiences. All right, and then we have Saturn and Neptune in Pisces, which is another whole story right there. Big picture here with the vast energy of transcending reality, transcending limitation. Neptune dissolves. Saturn is the systems and structures, and it is in the sign of Pisces. So systems and structures dissolving, disillusionment, things not happening as we thought because we had some idea or belief about how things are, and then we find out, oh, that was an illusion. Why, where did I get that idea? Where did it come from? So we need to also transcend our limitations and look at what is the big picture of what we want. And so I've talked here about big picture principles, things you care about, things that matter to you, things that are meaningful to you. And this new moon says, what are you going to do about that? How are you going to put feet on the ground to implement systems and structures and routines and tangible ways of building and putting, energy and resources and investing in what you want? Tangible resources as well as the intangible ones, and putting that energy and that effort and that thought and you're carrying all of that into the things that are important to you. So this now it's just to emphasize again, here we have 6 trines between the 6 planets, which are all 5 inner planets plus Pluto in a trine to Uranus, that planet of shakeup. Trines are supportive. Again, they help bring about what it is you're putting in motion. They give you energy and support. But again, you still have to do the thing to get the result. So it's not like it just lands in your lap. Sometimes it does, right? But it's much better if, right. So if it's landing, if it's like money landing in your bank account and you don't know it's there and you don't do anything with it, it's not really there, right? It's so it's partly our perception of what we have to work with. And so being open-minded about what you have to work with, being creative, thinking outside the box about what you have to offer, what you have to contribute, what you can do to participate in bringing some of the things you care about more solidly into the world. So Capricorn, new moon, we are planting the seeds of the coming moon cycle, setting our intentions, but also being very pragmatic, practical, having that Capricorn lens of reality. What is it we're actually dealing with? Let's be real. And I think that's part of the maturity of the new moon at 28 degrees Capricorn is, let's be honest. Let's be real about what we're dealing with and look at it from a very practical point of view, not in denial, not ignoring, not being having an illusion of something that is not really what's happening, because that Neptune energy is there also, and it's like, oh, if you just believed this, wouldn't that just be easier, right? So we have to go, okay, let's question that. Let's question that temptation to believe the easy route, and ask if that is really feeling true in our bones, and what it would look like to really align with and move things in the direction of the dream the vision, what we imagine. Again, remembering that it's quite possible that what's happening at this time is that we are becoming bigger. we, we are becoming bigger in our abilities, in the possibilities, in what can manifest, what we can create. And when we recognize that perhaps we are actually expanding into something much bigger and better, then we can see, well, all of what is showing up that is hard in the world right now is partly there for us to heal it. um uh in my house, we recently moved some furniture, right? And you move something like a sofa that's been there for years and years, and is like messy underneath, right? There's all the dust and cobwebs and the forgotten things um and and whatnot. So when you move energy, when you create space, when you open up to new possibilities, you got to deal with that stuff, right? You have to declutter the energy that kind of built up, and clean it and deal with it and get, so anyway, perhaps that is helpful to think about what we're doing right now as a healing process, and things come to the surface so that we can deal with them, whereas in the past they have been hidden, or we didn't have to deal with them really quite so directly. It was easy to ignore, to deny, to kind of move on with our lives. So this could be a wake-up call with that Capricorn energy of what is really going on, what is really what we're dealing with, and what the challenge really is. And what, of course, with the challenge of Capricorn also comes the responsibility of Capricorn to ask ourselves, what is my path? What is my way of contributing to this bigger healing process that is really collective for humanity? And so much going on. So this new moon happens just before all these inner planets go into Aquarius. And then next week, we have Neptune going into Aries. And we had Neptune go into Aries for the first time in 2025. It went retrograde back into Pisces. So we're doing that completion work, that final reckoning with these things that have been maybe under the sofa. We need to look at them and deal with them and clean them up. And then we'll have some fresh new beginnings as Neptune moves into Aries, some new energy, and that's a whole nother story. So we'll talk more about that. And as we head toward January 26th, it's coming up really fast, and the Saturn Neptune conjunction on February 20th. So big year in terms of that, and that cycle, the Neptune Saturn cycle, which is a 35-36 year cycle of unfolding dreams and imagination into reality. So that's like another story that is happening right now. And we're finishing. We're doing some finishing. We're doing this completion work of really bringing what we need to see into the light of day so that we can see it. And we need to focus on resilience and strength and inner strength and strength within communities and families and so much. Because when we build that strength, focus on what we're good at, what we know how to do, we can use that. That is our resource that we can invest to create what we want to create and do that healing work of moving through the challenge to get to the place where we have that good feeling of having overcome something and moved into greater freedom, spaciousness, happiness, all the things that we want. So those are my thoughts. I'm sure there is so much more. I mean, there you could go on endlessly about this new moon, and I only look at the 10 planets. That's kind of how maybe someday I'll branch out into asteroids more, but I find so much depth and richness in the 10 planets that is what I focus on. So anyway, that's me. And what else? So yeah, set your intentions. It's a powerful new moon. It's a new moon that has to do with strength and resilience and empowerment and finding your path forward. So get strong, get organized, get your support systems together. It's not about doing it all at once. There's not one day, there's not one week, there's not even one year where everything changes. But slow and steady. We keep working through the various issues and we have to keep going, right? This is a very potent time of change and also creative power. So stay engaged, take care of yourself, self care, self care. All right. Thanks for being here. I'm Marina Orms. You can learn more about me, book a reading with me at astrologyheals.com. I have a really exciting series of interviews coming up for the Saturn Neptune conjunction. So stay tuned for that. Thanks for being here. Thanks for subscribing to this YouTube channel. I appreciate your support and we will keep going. Thanks for being here, and I will see you next time. Bye for now.